This is Jimmy with our Discipleship video YouTube channel cast thing. And so I'm here with my friend Gary Ritchie, and he is an awesome, mighty man of God and a great friend. And so, Gary, who are you? What are you doing in life right now?
I am pastor of One Way Ministries in Damascus, Virginia. We planted this church. I'd pastored 5 years in a small Methodist church, and we planted this church back in 1998. And we've made a few moves, but we've been here now for several years, and things are going great here in Damascus. I am also assistant superintendent of Bristol, Virginia Public Schools, and I've been doing that. I've been in public education for about 26 years.
That's awesome. This guy really loves Jesus, is a precious man of God. And so I want to ask you, how would you define discipleship?
I think discipleship very simply is helping people to be followers of Jesus Christ. And there are so many different ways to do that. And I think probably the most important thing is to learn to be servants.
Servants. That's awesome. And so what is one practical thing that you would give people to do to make disciples where they're at? Because what we're wanting to do is for people to, like other superintendents or other people that are in the workplace, learn how to disciple people where they're at. What is something practical you would tell people to do to make disciples?
I think, first of all, no matter where you are, you have to be salt in the world. So if we are talking about what Jesus is doing in our life and how he's working through us and how he's blessing our life. And I think all the time about that scripture that they overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of their testimony. Yeah. And, those tests of life that come along, they produce a testimony. There's a story to be told. And as we are faithful to tell our story with others, that's not a religious thing. It's a relationship thing. And when we share that with others, with the people we work with, and the people we just, in the grocery store or wherever, when we're sharing the love of God in that way, people are drawn to him. And they're drawn to him in a way that does not seem preachy. It doesn't seem like it's religion. And people are drawn to that. And I would also say that I think that I have a burden when our ministry was planted, it was purposely called One Way Ministries, knowing that all of us have a ministry to fulfill. And what my ministry looks like looks different than what someone else, the calling that God has on your life. Yeah. And I remember many, many years ago, we have a really big food outreach, even for Damascus, and we needed money to be able to fund that food outreach. And I remember at the time we had a lady in our church who had giftings, and they were just so clear to see that she had giftings, creative gifts and communication gifts. And I asked her if she had any interest in opening a thrift store. And she was in between jobs and really was in a place in her life that she really didn't need a job, and she was looking to serve. And she started that ministry. We found a building for her on Main Street in Damascus. And, she assembled a small group, primarily ladies, who was interested. And, it's turned into, we've been carrying out that ministry for over 10 years now. And it pays for all the food that we purchase. It's been a beautiful thing. And so I think giving people opportunities to minister is something, as a pastor, I think that's something important that I do.
That is awesome. And so what is one resource you would give people, like a teaching, a podcast, a book, something that's impacting you, or that you would just say, hey, check this out?
I think there are certain books that were pivotal in my growth, and one of them is Fresh Wind, Fresh Fire by Jim Cymbala. And then Dr. Cho wrote a book several years ago called The Fourth Dimension. And I feel like those two books had a lot to do in my growth. And one of the things that we have done, and I'm not the only one that I have led the effort, and we have created booklets, Bible studies based on books of the Bible, specifically the New Testament, and so I have given assignment to teenagers, adults in different walks of life, and they have written reflections. They have done a personal study, and they have written a reflection, and then they have an opportunity. We produce a booklet with the scriptures, and they write a reflection upon that, and that's something that we all read together. In fact, we've even done Bible studies using the scripture that we created as a group.
Wow.
And it's really pretty cool.
That's a great idea.
And the people who have been a part of that, they feel that they really contributed to, growing in the Word.
Wow. Man, that's a great way to give people, because I think a lot of people, what I'm seeing is a lot of people they feel a call but don't have a pathway. They don't feel like they have a place to minister, and that I feel like is a good practical way to give people a way to minister or share their story or what God's doing in them, and that's great. Steal that one. That's a great idea.
It is good.
So thank you, Gary, for talking with us. And man, I just want to say, if anybody has never been to Damascus, Virginia, please come. This place is awesome. And come check out One Way Ministries and get rocked with these guys. They're precious. I love them dearly. They're like my family in Damascus, Virginia. So
that is definitely true.
Yeah, so fun. So Lord bless you guys. Remember, every believer is a missionary. That nobody gets a secondary job. We're all here to reflect the glory of God, to make disciples. So, yeah, bless you guys. We love you. Peace out.